Good evening, everyone. This is Alamjeet Flora on the Wednesday Talk Show. Welcome again today, everyone. Uh, we are going live again today, and please keep seeing us on Facebook, on our YouTube channel, where we have recorded all the speakers that have come on our show. This is today our 16th show. We've been running it for 4 months now. So thank you for always supporting us and being there for us. Today, we are going to talk about a very crucial topic, and we have a great company that's so futuristic looking at it. We all realized that the world around us is evolving so much. Talking about basic brand awareness, where previously and still companies choose glitz and glamour, fancy advertisements, etc., to attract consumers, and consumers, without raising questions, are attracted. They bought these products, and these companies have made large profits. The consumers, of course, weren't aware of the implications they had on their health and environment. In spite of fancy claims and product sales, there was an increase in deteriorating health conditions, and to top it all, a very evident climate change that raised a lot of questions. It awakened us to the dark truth of what are we consuming? How will it affect our environment? What can we do to make things better, and many more. Companies now have realized that customers are not gullible as before and are ready to live a more sustainable and, if needed, a minimalistic lifestyle. The consumers now are very conscious of everything from their food intake to the cars they drive and also to the clothes that they wear. The customers now believe in and stick to the brand more. They're more loyal to the brand if they know that what the product is made up of. Will they contribute in being environment friendly? And what is the company's vision rather than what sale figures the company has? TrusTrace is helping the companies achieve the gap and build a customer loyalty. I'm very glad to invite our today's guest, Mr. Shameek Ghosh, co-founder and CEO of TrusTrace. TrustTrace is a digital platform for products traceability and transparency, and it enables large and small fashion and food companies answer very fundamental questions that consumers are asking: where the product is made, who has made it, how it has been made. Shameek has spent 20 years working in IT and software enabled product development across India, South Asia, and Europe. Everybody, please welcome Shameek Ghosh. Hi, Shameek.
Hey,
Welcome to the Wednesday Talk Show. And thank you for being our
hi
guest
Alamjit.
today. We are very excited to speak to you on Trust Trace and a lot more that we're going to learn from you today. So thank you for being there.
Thanks a lot, Alamjit. Happy to be here, and look forward to the discussion.
Yeah. So just to begin with, we know that you have taken this, leap of faith, and you were in the corporate world earlier, and you've come into this entrepreneurial world altogether. So please tell us more about your journey, how it's been, this transition.
Yeah, sure. As you rightly mentioned, I think I have had a long stint in working with software, IT, and software engineering services companies over a period of almost 18 years, spread between India, Southeast Asia, and Europe. And I was doing my executive MBA between 2015 and 2017. And during that process, I was doing a capstone project, a project within the MBA, predominantly to help understand the authenticity of art. And that has actually triggered us to move more towards to understand provenance of art as well as different products. And interestingly enough, that was a time when I was talking to the three other co-founders of TrustTrace as a personal or a passion project of trying to see that how we can tell the story of the product, how it is manufactured, so that consumers in the Western world can push the brands to take the right steps when they do production out of India or any other parts of Asia or globe there. And this passion project, once we started getting more involved in it, we found that there were very interested companies in Sweden and Europe who wanted to know where how the product is made, where it is made, who is making it, and take corrective and the right steps forward. But they were missing the data link, the details about how the things are happening back in India, because the physical distance is so far. And that actually led into moving this passion project into a corporate venture, because we felt that doing it full time commercially will drive a significant amount of change, which we could not do if it was a personal project. We needed more time, effort, and energy. So I would say, in a way, the project drew us into it full time. And personally also, I felt that I think it is a right time, in terms of my experience and in terms of what I would like to achieve, to build up a startup and see how this journey is. It has been very exciting, and I always say that I think it has made a lot of us very, very young and very agile in our way in which we have been working.
Definitely, Shamik. So many experiences, of course, keeps you on your toes, and of course, yeah, looking good and all. Nice.
Thank you. Yeah.
So, Shamik, you said that you have, of course, traveled around the world. You have seen many countries how they perform, and how they do their things. But then you chose to have your company starting in Sweden. Any advantages that you see that Sweden had over the other countries?
So, right, as you mentioned, I think there is a significant awareness about environmental, social governance, good governance, and ethical things about with the general Scandinavian consumer, right? And that is, I think, which is a very, very key factor when you're starting a business like this. And Sweden gave us a significant amount of understanding, because please understand, means we came from IT digital software world, but we did not know fashion, food, consumer products so well. So we needed some kind of a hand holding from the industry to take it forward. And typically, we got found very, very good corporate citizens, like companies like Houdini, Philippa K, Iceberg, who helped us in understanding what is going on, where the weak links are with respect to sustainability. And this was very, very useful for us in the early days. But TrusTrace is actually, while it is headquartered in Sweden, we have a very, very strong link to Coimbatore, which is in southern part of India, which is where we have our product development and engineering center. And the reason, and one of the reason we have it there, is that it is very, very close to a textile hub called Tirupur. So we can see what issues the suppliers face, and being in Sweden, we are able to understand what are the issues or challenges that the brands, retailers are facing. So it is the best of two worlds, and that has been very, very critical in our success there.
Yeah, I understand. So you are directly dealing with the consumers' requirement as well as how the manufacturers are producing. So
Yes.
if just keeping in mind, I understand now that the companies are looking at sustainability, which is a very, very critical part of their decision making, right? So do you think they every company is looking into it, and like even the companies that you are following up with, how are they looking at the sustainability exactly as a point when they're planning things?
So it has been a sea change. So when we started around 4 years back, in fact, 26 December 2016 is when we formed the company for the commercial purposes. So it is just going to be 4 years for TrustTrace. When we started the company, I think we were largely seeing a significant amount of interest coming from sustainability champions. These are small or medium sized companies who are much, much ahead in their sustainability philosophy. And sustainability is ingrained in their core purpose and strategy. What has happened, I think, and last 12 months has been, I think, a sort of an inflection point, because I think overall the understanding of consumers, awareness of consumers on the product being a responsible product, on environmental, social, and ethical aspects has grown significantly. Now, this consumer awareness and also personalities like Greta Thunberg and all have helped them to bring this awareness really, really forward. has driven a significant amount of brand, has pushed the brands a lot. Second, it has done is that we see significant amount of regulations coming. So in UK, there was this recent scandal called Boohoo scandal, where modern slavery was involved in a place like Leicester in UK, and that has driven that MPs have now put in a petition to make modern slavery act much more stringent, much more due diligence needed, and all. Similarly, you have got the Paris Climate Agreement, and a lot of these large and medium-sized companies are signing up to this 1.5 degree uh, conditions, which means that they need to act on it, right? And then the third one is you see a significant amount of investors. In fact, the Swedish pension fund, the Norwegian pension fund, they are pushing all of their investments to ensure that they are taking right step towards climate goal, towards the social commitment that many of these guys, these companies are making, and finally to ensure good governance across the supply chain. So all taken together, it is a perfect storm where the companies need to focus or balance between profit, people, and planet issues. You cannot have a strategy just focusing on profit. You need to balance it with people and planet. Otherwise, you have a significant amount of long-term risk in the company going bust, maybe. And this is very evident with large companies, medium-sized companies, in fact, small companies. That strategy, sustainability has become a core strategy for many of these companies there.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think every consumer is very conscious now. Sustainability has become the next new mantra. Actually, everyone just talks about it. It's everywhere in every product line, literally now. So you are in the right place, doing the right thing. So good job. Also, what we see is, companies, like, they know these procedures, they know everything, but not every company is really wanting to be that transparent. Do you think they are willing to really be, let the consumers know from where the products are coming, what's the supply chain, all that? Are there any
It's
limitations?
changing fast. So I think if you go 5 years earlier, I think many companies were very protective about their supply chain. But I think nowadays, I think right from sustainability leaders to sustainability uh, followers, I think they have started sharing this information. Again, many of these companies are sharing only their main contractors or tier one suppliers, right? I think over a period of time, they will start sharing much deeper level supply chain information, because I think we have to understand that uh, product plus the whole process is the differentiation. Earlier, people used to think that I am buying a product, but nowadays, people, when they buy the product, they want to know how the product is made, and then they also want to know that how can they recycle it better, right? It is moving from a linear economy to a circular economy. And when you have this association, you are thinking of products as a service. So for example, earlier we used to buy a product and then it is my ownership, I may throw it to a landfill, and I was never bothered with it, right? But now I think consumers are saying that, okay, I buy the product, I wear it for maybe some 100 times, 200 times, and after that, Mr. Company, can you please tell me what do I do? Can I rent it? Can I re-commerce it? Can I, is it possible that you will take it back and recycle it? That's why you see so many collection centers coming up and all. So everything is becoming a service rather than just buying a product and forgetting about it. So the brand and customer relationship is being redefined as a relationship in which the trust gets built initially, and then you continuously have more and more discussions and communication about what the product is serving and how it can be improved on. So which means that a company which may not be sharing the full information in the past has to get adjusted to this new normal and then start moving. We believe that in next 3 to 5 years time, I think a lot of these companies will be very, very transparent. And I think most of the companies have been taking internal steps to know their supply chain really well. And maybe they are improving their supply chain practices so that they are able to communicate with the end consumer. And this holds good for early adopters as well as early majority also of companies.
Yeah, like what we still see smaller companies, they are, coming up with products, but the larger companies, I still feel maybe better that it will take a long time. Maybe not all product lines we will know.
Not necessarily. So, for example, we work with companies like Adidas and Decathlon now. And in fact, if you see many of their products, they are like claiming the product, the source of the raw material is from ocean plastic. So, they are cleaning up the oceans, fish nets, and everything, all the plastics they're taking out. And then they use TrusTrace to record the movement of this raw material to the end product, right? So there are sustainability champions or leaders coming from the large companies also. We are associated with LVMH, and in fact, their one of the agenda they have confirmed is to ensure that there is environment. The products are environmentally, socially, and ethically responsible. We are also working with Coop now, where they will be declaring almost 18,000 products. They will do something called a sustainability declaration across 10 parameters of biodiversity, animal welfare, chemical and pesticide, legality, working conditions, and all various 10 parameters for 18,000 products. And these are, some of them are their own products, and then many of them are the products coming from different food brands. So these are initiatives which are being taken up by large or ultra large companies. Nestle has committed that they will make investment to the tune of $5 billion in the next 3 years to improve their sustainability practices. Danone has done the similar kind of thing. Pernod Ricard, we have been associated with Absolute Vodka Company, and they are promoting regenerative farming from the places where they take the raw materials. So a lot of these large companies are doing it because they have made significant commitments to their boards and to the other stakeholders like government and all that.
Nice. So yeah, that was a really overview that you gave, that these large companies are spending so much money in this very critical area. So that's good. Going forward, I know the millennials are very conscious and they are going to question much more than we have in the past. So yeah, the companies need to cater to them. So good that they're taking these steps. What Like you have mentioned that TrustTrace has been so involved with the companies. So do they, when they are taking their managerial decisions that they have to, so how does TrustTrace come in? Do they come consult you? I'm sure they must be asking you a lot of questions because the kind of work you're doing to support them.
Yeah. So let's understand what TrustTrace is. So TrustTrace is a digital platform.
Yeah.
So earlier, what most of these companies were trying to do when they are trying to know, because most of the companies know their main contractor or the tier one supplier, but now they want to know who is their tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5 suppliers. What I mean by tier, so tier 1 is typically, if you take a garment, the place where you do cut, make, and stitching. Then you have got tier 2, from where you will typically get the fabric. The fabric comes from a yarn comes from a fiber comes from a raw material. So the deeper you go into supply chain, the more you know and you are aware about your supply chain, and you have a full control. Most of the fashion brands, or in fact food brands, also have a good level of awareness about their tier 1 suppliers. What TrustTrace helps them is, we help them to understand the full supply chain using digital means. Earlier, if they wanted to know this, they had to do a lot of manual activities, like asking the tier 1 supplier to introduce to tier 2, the tier 2 to introduce to tier 3, and this was multiple emails, maybe multiple physical visits to many of these locations and all that kind of thing, right? And when a brand is small, they can still do it. But think about it: if you have got hundreds and thousands of product and multiple different supply chains, it becomes a cumbersome activity. What TrustTrace does is that we help these kind of companies to achieve the full supply chain discovery and mapping digitally. And then once you achieve that mapping, you are able to ensure environmental, social, and ethical compliance on approximately 500 different attributes there. They can pick and choose how many attributes they want to measure on, but the potential is that they can measure up till 500 attributes. Once they collect all of this data, they can present this data either to their consumers, or they can make decisions within their company to improve the performance. Very simple. Suppose they want to now, they are currently carbon positive, they want to now become carbon negative or climate positive in their products. So where all should they source the product from? Which all locations can they work with, so that they can reduce the carbon footprint of their product? Such kind of decisions is where TrustTrace comes and helps them. It is not that this cannot be done without TrustTrace, but the only thing is that it becomes such a nightmare for them to collect and deal with this data. We help them to improve the efficiency of this whole process by at least 10 times, and much more manageable.
Wow, like you solving their problems instantly, so they can, take faster decisions and keep moving. So, very, very critical role there for Trust Trace.
That's right.
Okay, good.
And also important to understand is, earlier this information was typically used by a CSR executive or by a production person. But now, given the full awareness about sustainability, such kind of information is something that the CEO is demanding from their team. The CFO also asking from their team, because it deals with the financial risk of the company. Because many of these companies have to report their CSR activities to the authorities nowadays. There.
Uh-huh.
And then it also deals with the chief marketing officer, because if you go to Zalando puts a tag called sustainability on certain products, and they
Yes.
have confirmed to us that these products actually move 35% faster than normal products. So if you are a brand, you want to be want your products to be called as sustainable products, and for that you need to present evidences that I do these 15 things, so please call my product as sustainable. So in this whole process, what is happening is the the chief marketing officer, the sales officer of these brands are also involved in the same data. So earlier, a data which was only relevant for one stakeholder, or maybe two stakeholders in a company, now it is relevant to all the key functions in the company. So then organization of the data and analysis becomes more critical.
Okay. Fantastic. My God, that's a lot of information. So great, good job, Shameek. You and the team is doing a fantastic job. We wish you all the best, and keep making us proud, keep making India proud. So it's very nice. Coming to the question that many entrepreneurs looking at you and getting inspired today, my viewers, they would really like to know, how, what advice would you like to give to these entrepreneurs who are looking at you? And also, if you could share some do's and don'ts for them to, enhance their journey, it'll be really nice.
It's a tough question, I would say. Uh, so I got into entrepreneurship pretty late, I would say. I think there's never, of course, never a good or bad time to become an entrepreneur. It's a part of your maybe journey that you want to take on. But I think in a way it has been very helpful, that because with my experience in my past life, I'm able to maybe understand and appreciate certain positions very, very well. I really like the way, as an entrepreneur, I'm able to take certain actions and decisions faster. It comes at a cost. Comes at a significant cost to your personal life also, because you're used to a certain corporate life. It's very comfortable there. Then you want to take this plunge to become an entrepreneur. It has an impact on your personal positions and all. But again, those are transitional things there. In terms of suggestions about do's and don'ts, I think it is very, very important that you have the right team behind you, because I think as an entrepreneur, you will take certain steps, and if you do not have the right team which is backing you, you will find it very, very difficult to navigate this thing and navigate the whole through the complete. It's a forest, so you have to navigate and find the best way to do it. Pivot on multiple business cases much earlier. So don't say that, okay, my idea is great and I will just focus on this idea and keep on doing it. Rather, pivot, go and ask the customers. Yes, sorry. So just go and ask customers what is relevant. Are you solving a problem? And this openness to take inputs is very, very critical. Third, know what you want from different stakeholders, be it from your board, from your investors, from your other advisors that come in. Because if you do not use their time and their effort properly, they will lose interest in you. And more importantly, you will also be spending a lot of time there. So broadly, I think these 2 3 tips is I have. But again, we are still in the journey, and I'm learning pretty much every day or every hour something new, and that is an exciting and exhilarating part of it.
Yeah, great. And like you said in your opening lines, that it's making you younger. So with all this experience, yeah, with all this experience that you've generated, I'm sure you garnered a great team, and y'all are going to just grow from here. So thank you so much, Shameek, for today,
Yeah.
and thank you for sharing all the inputs that you have given. We will keep an eye on Trust Trace, and because you make us so proud always. So thank you so much for making us so glad watching you grow, and all the best for you and your team. So
Thanks a lot.
for today, yeah,
Really.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye. So that was Shameek Ghosh from TrusTrace, CEO and co-founder. He has shared such brilliant inputs. I'm sure many of you have got inspired today. It's been a great journey, and you can follow TrusTrace on their website and get to know more about what the company is doing. Next week, we have Dr. Sairat Varaich from Norway. She is making India proud as well. She has been the first Indian origin person to participate in MasterChef Norway. So she's going to be here. She was selected amongst the 16 contestants that were chosen, and she went up to the top 7. So she's going to be here. She is a professional dentist, but she has also ventured on this path. So come meet her. And next week it's going to be on a Tuesday. Considering Christmas, we are going to have the show happening on 22nd of December. So please join us. I look forward to seeing you on the Wednesday show, but next Tuesday. So thank you for today. Have a good evening and a great week ahead. Bye, everybody.